Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening all around the world, wherever you are. This is Madassar Majid, ESL expert and media professional from Pakistan. A very warm welcome to all of you who are watching this live session. I just want to tell you something about this platform. This is a platform where we connect with our esteemed experts and visionaries from all across the globe to explore thought-provoking topics that inspire growth, learning, and global understanding. Stay connected as we are going to dive into today's engaging discussion. So today we have invited Madam Mariam from Armenia. Madam, very warm welcome you in this session. Madam, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me today.
Okay, so Madam, very warm welcome to this session. So, Madam, please introduce yourself before our audience so that our audience may get to know about that. Who is Madam Mariam? Floor is
I'm
yours
Mariam
right now.
Atoyan. I'm Mariam Atoyan, an ESL expert from Yerevan, Armenia. I hold a master's degree in philology, English language and literature from Yerevan State University. My academic research focused on gender studies in political discourse. I have been teaching English online since 2019 on Preply educational platform, and I have more than 7 years of teaching experience overall. Throughout my teaching career, I have worked with both children and adults in online and offline educational settings, and I have also international teaching experience, including teaching at a language center in Kiev, Ukraine. In recent years, I have also been teaching Armenian to Russian and English speakers, and over these years, I closely observed the rapid development of educational technology and the growing role of artificial intelligence in language learning and modern education.
Okay, that's a great. So you are just you are more than a teacher regarding the things because you are a language teacher. You are using technology in context of language. You are Russian teacher. You are uh, Armenian language, English language. So you have complete complete expert in this regard that you are just multilingual or bilingual or whatever you can say. So, in this regard, dear audience, I just want to tell you the topic of the day that we have selected to talk about. Our topic is about artificial intelligence and students' learning, the need for responsible regulations. This is our topic on which today we are going to have a discussion. So, in this regard, the very first question I would like to put forward over here that, Madam, please define how can artificial intelligence positively support students learning in the classroom. What would you like to say?
Artificial intelligence can positively support student learning in classrooms by making education more personalized, interactive, accessible, and efficient. In general education, AI helps both students and teachers by improving the learning process and creating more opportunities for individual growth. If we speak about ESL, in English as a second language, AI can become a very powerful supportive tool because language learning requires constant practice, communication, and feedback. One of the biggest advantages of AI in education is personalized learning. Every student learns differently and at a different pace. Some students understand material quickly, while others need more time and additional explanations. AI can adapt exercises, tasks, and learning materials according to each student's level and needs. In ESL classrooms, this is extremely important because students often have different language backgrounds and levels of English proficiency. AI can provide beginner students with simpler vocabulary and grammar exercises while offering more advanced speaking and writing tasks to stronger learners. Another important benefit is instant feedback. Traditionally, students may wait hours or even days to receive corrections from teachers. AI tools can immediately identify grammar mistakes, pronunciation problems, spelling errors, or sentence structure issues. This helps students correct mistakes faster and learn more efficiently. For ESL learners, immediate correction is especially useful because it helps them build language accuracy and confidence at the same time. AI can also increase student engagement and motivation. Modern AI-powered platforms often use interactive exercises, games, simulations, and conversational chatbots that make learning more dynamic and less stressful. In language classrooms, students can practice conversations with AI without being afraid or embarrassed without being afraid of embarrassment or judgment. Many learners feel anxious when speaking a foreign language in front of their classmates, but AI creates a safe environment when they can practice freely and repeatedly. In addition, AI provides students with access to learning outside the classrooms. Students can practice English anytime through mobile applications, AI tutors, pronunciation tools, listening exercises, or writing assistants. This is especially helpful for students who do not have access to private tutoring or enough English-speaking environments in everyday life. AI supports teachers by reducing also administrative workload. Teachers can use AI to create lesson plans, quizzes, vocabulary exercises, presentations, and personalized tasks more efficiently. In ESL education specifically, AI can help teachers generate dialogues, role-play situations, grammar activities, and reading materials adapted to students' language levels. This allows teachers to spend more time focusing on communication, emotional support, and classroom interaction. Another important aspect is inclusivity and accessibility. AI tools such as speech to text, subtitles, translation systems, and personalized learning assistants can support students with learning difficulties or disabilities. In multilingual classrooms, AI can also help bridge communication gaps for international students. At the same time, AI should not replace teachers or human interaction. Education is not only about information, but also about emotional intelligence, social development, creativity, and human communication. Especially in ESL classrooms, real conversations, cultural understanding, and emotional connection with teachers and classmates remain essential. Therefore, AI should be viewed as a supportive educational tool that enhances learning rather than replacing educators. Overall, used responsibly and ethically, AI can make classrooms more flexible, inclusive, engaging, and effective while giving ESL students more opportunities to practice, improve, and become confident language users.
Yes, it's a very comprehensive and detailed answer that you have given. Definitely, AI is giving lot more to the young learners as well as educationists as well. So, especially the teachers, the way of teaching has, dramatically improved. And right now, the teachers these days are very well equipped. Before that, they were not. Right now, these days, they can easily get the things, or whatever they just want to get on a single click. Before that, the people used to prepare the things by taking lot more time, but these days you can easily jot down all those points which you want to deliver in your class. So that's the thing. Definitely it is very much helpful for the young teachers, and for those teachers who are just trying to deliver some extraordinary knowledge as well for the students as well. But at the same time, use of technology has some pros and cons as well. So it's up to them that how do they utilize. The second question I'm going to ask over here, that is also linked with that thing. And my second question is that what risk may students face if AI tools are used without proper regulations? So what would you like to say about it? Because it is, it's a very important thing as well. Important
Yes,
question.
of course. If AI tools are used in education without proper regulations, students may face several serious academic, psychological, social, and ethical risks. Although AI can be very beneficial in classrooms, the absence of clear rules and responsible supervision can create negative consequences, especially for younger learners and students in ESL classrooms. One major risk is overdependence on AI. Students may become too reliant on AI tools for completing assignments, writing essays, translating texts, or answering questions instead of developing their own critical thinking and problem-solving skills. In ESL, especially, students might use AI translators or writing generators so frequently that they stop actively practicing grammar, vocabulary, and independent speaking or writing. Another important issue is academic dishonesty and plagiarism. AI can create essays, homework answers, and even exam responses within seconds. Without regulation, students may submit AI-generated work as their own, which weakens the educational process and reduces genuine learning. Teachers may also struggle to evaluate students' real abilities and progress. There is also the risk of misinformation and inaccurate content. AI systems are not always correct and can sometimes provide false, biased, and outdated or oversimplified information. Younger students may not yet have the critical thinking skills necessary to verify information independently. In ESL classrooms, students may learn unnatural phrases, incorrect grammar usage, or culturally inappropriate expressions if they uh, totally rely on AI generated language. Privacy and data security are also serious concerns. Many AI platforms collect large amounts of personal data, including student conversations, writing samples, learning habits, and behavioral patterns. Without strong regulations, this information could be misused, shared without consent, or exposed to cybersecurity risks. In addition, excessive use of AI may negatively affect communication and social skills. Students could spend less time interacting with teachers and classmates and more time communicating with technology. In a language learning environment, especially, real human interaction is essential for developing fluency, emotional expression, cultural understanding, and confidence in communication. Another risk is inequality in education. Not all students have equal access to high quality AI tools, stable internet connections, or modern devices. If AI becomes deeply integrated into education without equal access policies, it could increase the gap between students from different social or economic backgrounds. There are also psychological concerns. Constant AI, I'm sorry, Constant AI assistance may reduce students' confidence in their own abilities and creativity. Some students may begin to believe that technology can always think, write, or solve problems better than they can themselves. For younger children, especially, unregulated AI exposure may influence attention span, emotional development, and independent learning habits. Children may become less patient with difficult tasks because AI provides immediate answers and shortcuts. Finally, there is the ethical concern of reducing the role of teachers. Education is not only about transferring information, it also includes mentorship, emotional support, moral guidance, and human connection. If schools depend too heavily on AI without proper balance, the quality of human-centered education may decline. Therefore, while AI has enormous potential in education, proper regulations, ethical guidelines, teacher supervision, and digital literacy are necessary to ensure that AI supports student learning without harming students' intellectual, emotional, and social development.
Mm-hmm. That is the thing. But what do you think that can excessive dependency on the use of AI, especially in context of critical thinking and creativity, can reduce among the students? What is your own perspective, or what are your own personal opinion? What is your personal opinion in this regard that over dependency on AI can reduce towards critical thinking? What is your personal point of view?
Excessive dependence on AI can reduce, of course, reduce students' critical thinking, especially if AI becomes a shortcut instead of a learning support tool. Critical thinking develops when students actively struggle with ideas, analyzing, comparing, making decisions, solving problems, and justifying answers. If AI starts doing most of this work for them, those mental processes are used less, and over time they weaken. And here is how this happens in practice. First, students may stop engaging in productive struggle. Normally, when a student writes an essay or solves a task, they pause, think, make mistakes, correct themselves, and improve. This process builds reasoning skills. If AI immediately generates answers or essays, students skip this stage and lose valuable cognitive practice. A second, AI can encourage passive learning. Instead of asking, why is this the answer, student may start asking only what is the answer. This shifts learning from explanation to consumption. In ESL classrooms, for example, instead of constructing sentences themselves, students might rely on AI to produce correct sentences without understanding the grammar behind them. Third, students may become less skilled at evaluating information. AI tools sometimes produce incorrect, biased, or overly simplified responses. If students accept AI output without questioning it, they do not develop the habit of checking facts, comparing sources, or analyzing logic, all key components of critical thinking. Fourth, overuse of AI can weaken problem-solving confidence. When students always turn to AI for help, they may lose trust in their own reasoning ability. Over time, they may feel they cannot complete tasks independently, which reduces initiative and intellectual curiosity. Finally, in a language learning specifically, excessive AI use can limit creative language use. ESL students might rely on perfect AI-generated sentences instead of experimenting with vocabulary, forming their own expressions, and learning through trial and error. This slows down natural language development and flexible thinking. However, it's important to note that AI does not automatically reduce critical thinking. The risk appears only when it replaces thinking instead of supporting it. When used properly, such as for feedback, guidance, and examples, AI can actually strengthen critical thinking by helping students reflect, compare options, and improve their work. So the key issue here is balance. AI should act as a tool that supports thinking, not a tool that does the thinking for the students.
You are very much true in this regard, the things that you have allowed.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to ask you the next question: that what role should teachers and educational institutions play in regulating AI usage, especially because there is the role of education institutions as well. There is the role for the teachers as well. So, what do you think that what type of role educational institutions and teachers play in making it a proper usage, how to use it properly? What do you say? What is your personal opinion?
Teachers and educational institutions play a crucial role in regulating AI usage because they are responsible for ensuring that technology supports education ethically, safely, and effectively, rather than harming students' learning and development. First of all, schools and teachers should establish clear rules and boundaries for AI use. Students need to understand when AI is acceptable as a learning tool and when it becomes academic dishonesty. For example, using AI for grammar correction, brainstorming ideas, or language practice may be acceptable, while submitting fully AI generated essays as personal work should not be allowed. Clear policies help prevent confusion and misuse. Secondly, teachers should educate students about responsible AI usage and digital literacy. Students must learn that AI is not always accurate or unbiased. Teachers should encourage learners to question information, verify sources, and think critically instead of accepting every AI generated answer automatically. In ESL classrooms, especially, students should learn to use AI as a support for improving communication skills, not as a replacement for independent speaking and writing. Another important role is maintaining the balance between technology and human interaction. Educational institutions should ensure that AI does not replace teachers' classroom discussions, teamwork, or real communication. In language learning environments, human interaction remains essential because students develop fluency, emotional expression, cultural understanding, and confidence through real conversations with people. Teachers should also redesign assignments and assessment methods in response to AI technologies. Instead of focusing only on tasks that AI can easily complete, educators can create activities that require personal opinion, creativity, class discussion, presentations, problem solving, and critical analysis. This makes learning more authentic and reduces the risks of plagiarism. Educational institutions are also responsible for protecting students' privacy and data security. Schools should carefully choose safe and reliable AI platforms and make sure students' personal information, conversations, and academic data are protected. Younger students especially need strong protection from potential misuse of data. In addition, schools should provide equal access to technology. If AI becomes part of education, institutions should ensure that all students have fair opportunities to use these tools, regardless of their financial or social background. Otherwise, AI may increase educational inequality. Teacher training is another essential factor. Many educators still do not fully understand how AI works or how to integrate it effectively into lessons. Schools and universities should provide professional development programs so teachers can use AI confidently, responsibly, and creatively. Finally, educational institutions should promote ethical values alongside technological development. Students should understand that education is not only about getting quick answers, but also about developing discipline, independent thinking, creativity, communication skills, and personal growth. Overall, teachers and schools should not act only as users of AI technology, but also as guides, regulators, and mentors who help students use AI responsibly while preserving the human side of education.
Mhm. Okay, that's great and very comprehensive and detailed. The things that you're just defining. It's very much up to especially when a lot of young students these days when they are using AI. So they're just doing what they just whatever the things they're just trying to copy and paste, but there is no creativity is seen among them. They all the time they're just working on whatever the things that they have already worked somewhere in different other place. So they just do what they just copy it as it is and paste it somewhere and showing that they have done this manuscript or they have done this research, but they haven't done that research. They're just trying
Yes.
to do what, even though there are some of the things that even though you are unable to find out whether this article written by himself by creativity or whether it is written by the AI. So it's these days it's very difficult to find out the things even. So every especially in context of students learning, so it's very risky in this regard. In the past, people were just very much creative. They used to write things. They used to read the articles. But these days they are not. They're just getting ready-made stuff. Whatever the things which are available over there, they copy as it is and paste somewhere wherever they're just writing something. So these days the things are quite easier for them as well. So but easier and as well as less learning as well. I must say that less learning, because in the past, when the use of or advent of before the advent of AI, people were very much hard worker. They all the time just working on it, how to find out more detailed things. They used to read out the books, comprehensively and all that. But these days, the
Yes.
people, especially students these days, they're doing what? They're just getting the stuff. They're just searching it on AI, and after that, just whatever the things they're just searching, exactly the exact answer, they can find it by anywhere. So
Yes,
that's
and yes, unfortunately, it's true, and uh, it's a fact when people learn something, when learning something is hard, then you memorize it better. So
Mhm.
I think our parents were used to they used to tell us that they learned using encyclopedias, dictionaries. They were searching for information. They were putting a lot of effort to get the knowledge. Our generation, so I'm 29 years old. I remember that I also used those dictionaries, and it was really hard to. For me personally, it was difficult to learn English. But over time, we saw this development, and right now, for this generation, it's more accessible, right? But unfortunately, kids
Yes,
can become lazier.
yes, I agree
That's
with
why,
that.
as adults,
Just
we
to
have
add
a
the last,
mission to prevent this.
I just at the last, I just want to ask you what the message that you would like to give to the teachers as well as for the young learners, and how they can use the use of AI responsibly. How they can use the things, the AI stuff, like AI things, more by having more responsibility and by using it less risk. What would you like to say?
AI can be used responsibly in education when it supports learning without replacing students' own thinking, creativity, and effort. The main goal should be to use AI as an assistant or learning tool rather than as a machine that completes all academic work for students. One important way to maintain academic honesty is by using AI for guidance instead of direct answers. For example, students can use AI to brainstorm ideas, receive explanations, check grammar, improve structure, or practice skills, but the final work should still reflect their own understanding and personal effort. In ESL classrooms, students may use AI to practice pronunciation, expand vocabulary, or receive feedback or on writing while still creating their own sentences and expressing their own ideas. Transparency is also essential here. Students should openly acknowledge when and how they used AI during the learning process. Just as sources are cited in academic writing, AI assistants should be used ethically and honestly rather than hidden. Another important factor is critical evaluations. Students should not automatically trust everything AI produces. They should verify information, analyze responses, compare sources, and think independently. Responsible AI usage means engaging with the material actively rather than copying information passively. Teachers can also encourage originality by designing assignments that require personal reflection, classroom discussion, creativity, problem solving, and real life application. Tasks connected to students' own experiences, opinions, or presentations are more difficult to fully outsource to AI and promote authentic learning. In addition, educational institutions should create clear guidelines about acceptable AI use. Students need to understand the difference between support and cheating. For example, using AI to generate ideas or practice language may be acceptable, while submitting fully AI generated essays or exam answers as original work would violate academic integrity. AI can also be used responsibly to support inclusivity and learning accessibility. Students with language barriers or learning difficulties may benefit from AI tools that provide explanations, translations, subtitles, or personalized feedback. However, these tools still encourage learning development rather than dependency. Most importantly, students should continue developing core human skills such as critical thinking, communication, creativity, and independent reasoning. Education is not only about producing correct answers, but also about learning how to think, analyze, and express ideas personally. Overall, responsible AI use means combining technological support with human effort, honesty, originality, and critical thinking. When used ethically and under proper guidance, AI can enhance learning while still preserving academic integrity and authentic student development.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a very informative discussion that was just what's happening today, and I hope so that a lot of our audience who was watching the session, so they would be enjoying the discussion as well. And later on, the people who would watch the session, they would definitely get a lot of things from our discussion. And thank you very much, Madam Mariam, for your precious and valuable time that you have added some insight within our discussion. And I hope so it is very much fruitful for the educationists as well as for the young learners who are learning English. But what are the risks and what are the things that they can learn in context of AI? So this is our topic on which today we have talked about. And I would like to say gratitude that thank you very much, Madam, for your valuable and precious time that you have given and added some insight within our
Thank you
discussion.
so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much. Stay blessed, dear audience. So we'll be having another session next Sunday. Till then, goodbye from my side. See you in the next session. Goodbye.
See you. Goodbye.